stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of the minutes, they were emailed out. Any discussion on approval of the minutes? Be approved as mailed out. Approval of the current financial report.
Motion to.
You doing it?
I don't care.
Motion by Mr. Godwin to approve the current financial report. Call the roll.
Rogers,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Norris,
Yes.
Okay, approval of the agenda. We have nothing to add or remove.
Move to approve the agenda as presented.
Moved by Mr. Schmidt to approve the agenda. Call the roll.
Rogers,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Norris,
Yes.
All right. Public hearing on the, we have listed for the zoning amendment recommendations. LIC Limited Industrial Corp. to plan unit development for North Broadway.
And then there's a communication from the Planning and Zoning Commission. It says, honorable members of council, at the December 21st, 2021 Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, applicant NVAH Holding LLC request was heard for a zoning amendment of 5.5680 acre lot and a 4.678 acre lot located on North Broadway. Members voted to send an unfavorable recommendation to City Council for the request to rezone the parcel from LIC Limited Industrial Commercial to PUD Planned Unit Development. And following with the zoning regulations, Article 5 Amendment, Section 5.05, the Planning and Zoning Commission is hereby forwarding the recommendation to rezone the request to the City Council. City Council, per zoning text 5.06, must now act. The public hearing is scheduled for that on currently.
Anyone would like to speak? Nothing? Any questions from council on that?
Motion to accept the recommendation.
Been moved by Mr. Brown to accept the planning and zoning's recommendation. Discussion? Call the roll.
Rogers,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Norris,
Yes. All right, recommendation passes. Next, we will move on to administration reports. Mr. Mayor.
do you want to open up to if there's any other?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yep, you're right. Is there any other public hearing for anyone else that would like to speak? So we have a couple department heads back here. No one else? All right. Next, we will move on to administration reports. Mr. Mayor.
And I would like to pass. Thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna get done early. Yeah.
Okay.
Safety Service Director.
And I was gonna pass. He put the pressure on me. So we have a lot of items in the works, a lot of projects kind of getting started, still in the planning stages, gearing up for, our spring, summer project season. Our lead line project over in the Euclid Central area has just kind of gotten started this week. Just the weather and the cold temperatures. Construction has not been at the top of people's priorities list for sure. So we have all those things going on. We're still working on our OPWC for North Ohio and our bike trail over at Ohio and Martin Street intersection. That you guys should start seeing something probably the first meeting in March, authorizing the bid for that. We're almost complete with the design stage. and we're getting a lot closer on our water model. So then our next is to finish our design stage for our main transmission line, water line coming into town. There are a couple of items here for resolutions for the Phosphorous Analyzer and the Fluent Blower. Both of those are small projects that are going on down at the wastewater plant, and our wastewater superintendent, Don Knife, is here if you have any questions on what that entails. So we appreciate Don coming. And then the fire chief brought an article down to me today from Dark County Now, and we want to do a little more, and we're going to try to get in touch with these people and get them at a council meeting. But our fire chief put on Facebook, if you have a fire hydrant in your front yard and it's buried, go out and dig it out. It would help, the community out. So Julie Singer, her daughter Emily, who's 4, loves fire trucks and firefighters. So she wanted to do something. So the mom's like, hey, let's go dig out some fire hydrants. So they did a few fire hydrants in the south end. So Emily Singer, who's 4, and then Kyle, who is 10, Trevor 9, and Levi 7. And there's a picture of them here across from the hospital. They got a fire hydrant. So I think that's really cool that they're out helping the community, and we really appreciate that. And I want to recognize people in the community that kind of go the extra mile for us. And with that, I will pass.
Question on the lead pipe. You said Euclid. What area will that be?
So it's that project's Euclid Central, Harrison, Wayne, from basically 4th Street to the railroad tracks, kind of around the old junior high, that area.
All right.
I think there's like 166 lines that'll be replaced, and those are service lines that have been identified as lead from our city main to the curb stop. And then if it's lead or galvanized from our curb stop into the house, we replace that as well, which is a project normally wouldn't be funded through the EPA, but they've expanded on lead within the city system.
So is that something we're going to continue doing down the road if we can get?
Definitely keep applying for funding. So, this project was pushing $1 million. Obviously we need to identify, and when I say identify, that's what we call potholing, which is backing down to the line to see what the material is. But we believe there's about $20 million worth of lead in the city system. So this is a small piece of it all.
Okay.
Wow.
All right. Thank you, Ryan Delk.
You're welcome.
Law Director, Mike Greenman.
Thanks. So typically in the law world, no news is good news. And so I don't have a ton of news for you tonight. And I'm going to try not to mess up my role as clerk as well. So if anybody has any questions, I'll take them, but otherwise I'll pass.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Reeman.
To make you a law clerk.
Kind of like being back in college, right?
I don't know. You're paying me too much for that.
City Auditor, Mr. Wellman.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. We are adding one additional item to the ordinances, the supplemental ordinances. The mayor is requesting a supplemental appropriation of $9,000 to the mayor's economic development mayor. These funds are needed for consulting services for obtaining a state obtaining state grant funding. If you will recall the last meeting, you approved us using the services of Wayne Morris Consulting, Governmental Consulting, and we have received our first billing from our consultant. So we need to get some funds in there to cover that. So I just wanted to tell you about the addition that we added.
Okay, so we will make that number 5. A supplemental.
No.
It ties into number.
It's under number 1.
Oh, okay, I got you.
It's just one
Oh,
additional item
okay.
added.
I got you.
Okay, and with that, I pass.
All right, thank you. Next, we move on to committee reports. There are none that I know of. Ordinances and resolutions. First, we have a supplemental ordinance.
All right. An ordinance to make additional appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Greenville, state of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 22. This supplemental ordinance moves for the fire chief, an appropriation of $5,000 to new fire equipment. These funds are needed for a new thermal imaging camera and were provided by the fire department user fee fund. Also, $9,000 to the mayor's economic development fund. These funds are needed for the consulting services and obtaining state grant funding.
Move to suspend the rules, give this ordinance second, third reading by title only.
Been moved by Mr. Rogers, suspend rules of this ordinance, second, third reading, discussion. Call the roll.
Rogers,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Norris.
Yes.
An ordinance to make additional appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Greenville, state of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2022. An ordinance to make additional appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Greenville, state of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2022.
Move to adopt.
Been moved to, by Mr. Whitaker to adopt, discussion. Call the roll.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Norris.
Yes.
Okay, next we have a resolution authorizing safety service director to enter into a contract with Anderson's for the analyzer.
A resolution authorizing the safety service director to enter into a contract with BL Anderson for a phosphorus analyzer. This resolution authorizes the safety service director to enter into a contract with BL Anderson for a phosphorus analyzer for the wastewater department.
Move to suspend the rules and give this resolution its second and third reading by title only.
Moved by Mr. Whitaker to give this resolution second and third reading by title only. Discussion. Call the roll.
Rogers,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Norris.
Yes.
A resolution authorizing the safety service director to enter into a contract with BL Anderson for a phosphorus analyzer. A resolution authorizing the safety service director to enter into a contract with BL Anderson for a phosphorus analyzer.
Move to adopt the resolution.
Been moved by Mr. Rogers to adopt. Discussion.
What is a phosphorus analyzer?
Basically, it's a process control device we use in the plant. Our permit from the Ohio EPA requires us to maintain less than a 1 milligram per liter of phosphorus leaving the plant. So the one we have now is from 2012. This is just a replacement. The old one cost about $3,000 a year to maintain. The new one will cost less than $1,000.
Great. While we're on it, the next one, we might as well just throw that up too. Effluent blower?
Hey, can you come up to the mic just because I know this is a bit recorded.
Yeah.
You're fine, Don.
We start over with the phosphorus analyzer. Sorry. That way it's recorded for when Jessica does the minutes.
Okay. The phosphorus analyzer, we have to maintain 1 milligram per liter of phosphorus leaving the plant by permit from the Ohio EPA. So this is a device that helps us in our process control. And essentially we make adjustments through it. The old one is from 2012, cost about $3,000 to maintain per year. The new one will cost about $1,000.
So how do you treat phosphorus if it's too high?
There are two ways. There is biological and there is chemical. We use both. Basically, it's through bugs, the microorganisms, they eat the phosphorus and then they settle out in tanks and then we waste that. So we basically starve them at one point and then we feed them. They get real heavy, they sink, we waste them. And then the other is chemical addition through ferric chloride that we add as a finishing agent. So we usually maintain between 0.4 and 0.6 of that 1 milligram per liter.
And that's what's leaving the plant.
That's what's leaving the plant.
Any other discussion?
No.
while you're up there, do you want to explain this affluent blower as well? And then I won't bug you.
Effluent aeration blowers. These are approximately 25 to 30 years old. Excuse me. They're very inefficient. And with the addition of the new UV building, I thought, let's just go ahead the next year and get efficient blowers. So, and replace these, and that's really all this is a replacement also.
Right.
So, and we have to maintain a 7 milligram per liter of dissolved oxygen leaving the plant. They run about 7 months of the year. Otherwise, they are shut down. So.
That the big blowers that's on the line when it goes sneaking around, it's introducing oxygen into it.
Those are disc aeration. These blowers are located at the headworks of the plant, actually, kind of like where the headworks, and then it has a pipe that goes to the effluent aeration tank.
So basically, it's just putting air into the.
Correct.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Doug.
You're welcome.
Any other?
Science.
Call roll.
Rogers,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Norris.
Yes.
All right, next we have a resolution, Alternate Safety Service Director to enter in the contract with BL Anderson's for efficient, or what's that pronounced? Affluent blower.
I'm not very fluent, so. A resolution authorizing the safety service director to enter into a contract with BL Anderson for an affluent blower. This resolution authorizes the safety service director to enter into a contract with BL Anderson for an affluent blower for the wastewater department.
Move to suspend the rules and move this resolution second, third reading by title only.
Been moved by Mr. Rogers to suspend the rules, give this resolution second, third reading by title only. Discussion? Call the roll.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Ely?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
A resolution authorizing the safety service director to enter into a contract with BL Anderson for an affluent blower. A resolution authorizing the safety service director to enter into a contract with BL Anderson for an affluent blower.
Move to adopt.
Moved by Mr. Brown to adopt. Discussion? Call the roll.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Ely?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
All right, number 4, resolution authorizing advertising for the bids for the city well fields.
A resolution authorizing advertising for bids for the rental of municipal lands commonly referred to as the city well field. This resolution authorizes the safety service director to advertise for bids for the rental of municipal lands known commonly as the city well field located adjacent to Chestnut Street.
Move to suspend the rules and give this resolution its second and third reading by title only.
Been moved by Mr. Whitaker to suspend the rules, give this resolution second, third reading by title only. Discussion? Call the roll.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Ely?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
A resolution authorizing advertising for bids for rental of municipal lands commonly referred to as the city well field. A resolution authorizing advertising for bids for rental of municipal lands commonly referred to as the city well field.
Move to adopt.
Moved by Mr. Brown to adopt.
Got a
Discussion?
question on that.
Yeah, that's back in the prairie area, right?
The Aero model.
modelers is who.
Okay.
Are they still gonna stay there?
They would like to.
But you still gotta put it out there every year.
Process, yep.
All right.
Any other discussion? Call the roll.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Ely?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
All right, that finishes the ordinances, resolutions. Under new business, we have nothing. Old business, anything? And on the council representing outside of committee, I think we have a report for the Visitors Bureau.
Yes.
I have that 10
Yep,
now.
I'm sorry.
Thank you, Council President. Got together this 25th of January. Was very educational, just joining that board. So couple things that I took away from it. The payroll, they are moving internally. They previously had an outside accounting firm, and they're bringing it in-house. They did have a fraud issue with some checks and some loss of funds. And so there's some investigation into that currently. I believe it was, Jeff, was like 9,000.
That was a lot of money.
Yeah, it was, I think it was about $9,000
So many just
between checks and withdrawals made on the account. They hired a new assistant director, Laura Mullins. She started yesterday. And they talked about reorganizing the whiskey, wine, and ale trail. There's several that are outside of Dark County in the city. And just the thought was that with all of the pop-ups that we've had, and then especially in the county, that they could reorganize that a little bit better and specifically drive people to the local businesses. And then Hotel Versailles was popular to talk about. The astounding thing to me was that they were going to hire dishwashers at $16 to $18 an hour and front desk people at $16 to $18 an hour. And some of your skilled workers at trades are not getting paid that necessarily. So that was kind of alarming. And then the other thing to look forward to, we're going to find out more about. Alex Warner wanted to do some bus tours locally through the city as well as through the county, and potentially be selling tickets to that and just taking people around and showing them the different businesses, and kind of like they used to do with the Whirlpool tours long ago.
yeah.
Cool. That was pretty much it.
All right, thank you. Communications.
Yeah, we received the CIC minutes from the December 1st, 2021 meeting, and we received the monthly report of January from the fire department.
All right. Call of council.
Rogers,
I'm gonna pass.
Schmidt,
Pass.
Whitaker,
Want to thank the family that Ryan made mention of and digging out the fire hydrants. Again, like he said, I just think it's a wonderful thing that when citizens can take things into their own hands and help out the cause. And I just think that's a good thing, particularly when it was initiated by a 4-year-old.
Right.
So that's, with that, I pass.
Brown,
Echo the same thing there. I grew up around Julia as well as her brother. So great people and definitely good kids. I did have a little bit of interaction on Facebook about the red lights in the downtown, and people commenting how well they liked them and they thought it was great. At first, people thought they were orange for the Bengals, but they were corrected that they were red. And so anyway, with that, I pass.
Ely,
I would also like to send a thank you to that family for doing that. And I was just wondering, is there some way you could send them maybe a picture back of the firemen so that the little girl could have a picture or something from them, or a thank you from us?
So we're going to put together a plan to recognize them. Russ has some ideas. This just came out today, so I just wanted to bring it to everyone's attention when it's fresh.
That's great.
But the reason he brought it to me is so we could come up with a plan to recognize them a little more and maybe show them a fire truck and dress up a fireman in our dog costume that they love to dress up in.
I think that would be wonderful. Thank you, Chief.
Chief doesn't do it. He makes someone do it, but you know, it's part of it.
Maybe they should put it to a vote.
No, because then that'd probably be me, so.
And with that, I pass. I'm sorry.
Godwin,
I'd like to thank everybody for coming up tonight, and I need to make a motion to excuse the absences for this month too. Okay, does that take a vote?
Yeah.
Yep. Any discussion on that? Call the roll.
Rogers,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Norris,
Yes. And I did see some orange stuff up here. I think it was Saturday. When I stopped up there by the fire department. There was some Bengal stuff there. Wasn't a flag, but good job for the Bengals getting where they got. And with that, I'll pass.
Norris,
Well, I'll echo with the red lights downtown, the trees, the city building had some positive comments. I attended the Republican Women's meeting last evening. They honored the first responders of the area. It was kind of nice. Had some real good positive comments. Chief, with the sign out front, there. So that's, I think that's going to be a good community thing and, making announcements on it. And as the guys were saying about, keep some calls down to the dispatchers on when's the parade, when's this going on, that we can have that on the, that marquee sign out there. So that's fantastic. And with that, I pass.
President Gardner.
Thank you, Mike. Just a couple things. Just remind everyone on council to make sure they're looking at their emails regularly. Try to have them forward to your phone. If you're not getting them and you need help with that, just get with our IT person here at the city and they'll be more than glad to help you get it set up. And then, yeah, just echo everyone what said. I think it's really cool when you have young people volunteering to do the right thing. So I think that's really neat. And I think we need to do something really cool for that family. And with that, I pass.
Move to adjourn.
Moved by Mr. Rogers to adjourn. Call roll.
Rogers,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Norris.
Yes.